Good evening, guest of honor, distinguished guests, and ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Oberoi Hotels and Resorts and Mr. Shib Shankar Mukherjee, Vice Chairman and Chief Executive Officer, the Oberoi Group, I welcome you all to the 4th Tiger Patoudi Memorial Lecture, a joint initiative by the Telegraph and the Bengal Club. We consider this an absolute honor and privilege to be associated with such an important event. The Oberoi Group has across cities played host to various events of such stature. I once again welcome all of you and thank you for taking out the time today. I'm quite sure and confident that this is going to be one evening to remember. Thank you very much.
May we request you to keep your mobile phones on silent for the duration of the entire program. Thank you.
Kapil Paji, Begum Sharmila Tiger Patoudi, distinguished sportsmen, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 4th edition of the Patoudi Memorial Lecture. I would particularly like to welcome Sharmila Tagore. Her gracious presence gives these functions a special aura. For 3 decades now, Kapil Dev has been a member of the extended ABP Parivar. We feel honored that he has been able to find time to come and speak to us even in the midst of the World Cup season. We would like to also welcome a very special sportsman in our midst, Mr. Pankaj Advani, who is here to participate in the national championship, currently holds 13 world titles in billiard and snooker. Tiger Patoudi was a great cricketer, but to us, he was first and foremost a friend and a colleague. These annual lectures have been organized to pay tribute to that association and to look critically at the challenges the game is facing. The first to get off the mark in our series of lectures was Imran Khan, cricketer, hospital promoter, man about town, Prime Minister aspirant, and now a husband. That year was 2012. Here is what he had to say.
I grew up admiring 2 cricketers. One was my first cousin Javed Barki. And Javed Barki and Mansoor Ali Khan played together at Oxford. So they were in the same team along with another Indian, Abbas Ali Beg. So the 3 of them were at Oxford about a decade before me. So as a boy growing up, Javed Barki was, because he was my first cousin, my family, we always wanted to emulate him. So here was someone who was good at studies and also good at sports. So this, thank God I followed a role model. Otherwise I would not have studied. And the biggest blunder I would have made if I had not studied. The other, of course, big reason I studied was my mother. So when I was 18 and on the verge of playing for Pakistan, she insisted that I would only play if I completed my education afterwards. So of course we had these role models. And from Javed Barki we always used to ask about Mansoor Ali Khan. And now this is what he used to say. Now remember, I'm a child growing up, my hero telling me, he said that if Mansoor Ali Khan had not lost his eye, he felt that he would have broken all records. That such was his talent in university when they used to be playing together. He said the quality of strokes he could play, he said mere mortals could not play those strokes. And to actually have gone on with one eye and have the sort of record which Mansoor Ali Khan had, the mind boggles what he could have done with both eyes.
A very difficult act to follow. But Greg Chappell chose to brave the ire of Calcutta.
It meant that I didn't play cricket with Tiger Patoudi. I got close on a number of occasions. 1966, when India toured Australia, I was representing South Australia and played in the tour match. Unfortunately, Tiger didn't play in that game. He was carrying an injury that he actually took into the next test match at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. I watched that test match and saw two of the most amazing innings that I think I witnessed in test cricket. 75 in the first innings and 85 in the second innings, carrying an injured leg and with one eye playing against some very good fast bowlers. Two shots come to mind from that test match, one from the bowling of David Renneberg and the other from the bowling of Graham McKenzie. They were certainly inspirational innings. They were played with great skill and flair and of course a great deal of courage. I next met Tiger in 1968 when I was playing county cricket in England for Somerset. I was injured at the time, which was fortunate for me because I got to see the last test match of the Australia-England series that year, in which my older brother Ian was playing. I went up to the Oval to watch the test match, and on that occasion, along with Richie Beno, Tiger Patoudi came into the tent at the end of the day, and I had an opportunity to really meet him and to talk cricket with him for the first time, and I was very impressed with his wit and his ability to read the game, and he was the one in fact that predicted that England would win that test match. At the time he made that comment, it was a very even game, but in fact England did go on to win that test match.
If Chappell comes, can Dada be far behind? Just watch the video.
So thank you so much for having me here. Now, when we talk about Mansoor Ali Khan Pataudi, somebody who I haven't seen play the game because he did it much before I was born, and when I started playing the sport, or when I started growing up, I played a lot of soccer, and didn't have so much interest on watching cricket rather than hearing it on television, on radio, because television in those days was not as it is today. You can watch South Africa play Australia in Cape Town. At the same time, you can watch India playing Afghanistan and Bangladesh. So I didn't have the opportunity or the luck to watch Mansoor Ali Khan Pataudi play the game. But when you speak to his contemporaries, various people who have played the game with, and you saw one gentleman, Mr. Bishan Singh Bedi, on the screen, and it's not easy to get a glorified. It will only take good for someone who really has to be good. And I must say, Mansoor Ali Khan Pataudi must have been champion to get accolades from him. He spoke about someone, Pataudi, taking them to the woods and setting up everything. I remember my first camp in Bangalore in 1990. I was a 17-year-old boy, and Vision Sibeli was the coach of India, and the team was touring in England, supposed to go to England. And I remember the Kapil Park in Bangalore, where every morning we used to be on the park running around the woods. And when I hear this on the screen, I can understand where it came from, except Mr. Dilip Venkataka. Because every time he would come on that Mahatma Gandhi Road in Bangalore, everyone would start running and he would quite sneak out of the back gate and get back into the pavilion. Now when we talk about Mansur Ali Khan Pataudi, we talk about someone who was a very important figure in Indian cricket. Not many players continue to have so much importance and recognition even after their playing days are over. And here is one man who, not just because of his playing skills, but also with his quality of character and class, has continued to live in the hearts of not only Indians, but also the foreigners who played the game in that era. And I must tell you that all those who watch cricket, who came supposed to go to England, and I remember the Kapil Park in Bangalore, where every morning we used to be on the park running around the woods. And when I hear this on the screen, I can understand where it came from, except Mr. Dilip Venkataka. Because every time he would come on that Mahatma Gandhi Road in Bangalore, everyone would start running and he would quite sneak out of the back gate and get back into the pavilion. Now when we talk about Mansur Ali Khan Pataudi, we talk about someone who was a very important figure in Indian cricket. Not many players continue to have so much importance and recognition even after their playing days are over. And here is one man who, not just because of his playing skills, but also with his quality of character and class, has continued to live in the hearts of not only Indians, but also the foreigners who played the game in that era. And I must tell you that all those who watch cricket, who are a die-hard supporter of the game and still watch cricket, getting respected by the players, the people and the game, and people connected with the game in England in those days was never easy. It's never easy now. It was never easy then as well.
When Pataudi first donned the Indian cap, Kapil was only 4 years old. This accident of birth deprived India of what could have been an extraordinary partnership. I wish I had a Kapil in my team, viewed Tiger in an interview. In his autobiography, Kapil returned the compliment. I wish I had the opportunity to play under Tiger Patoudi, wrote Kapil. Ergo, he continued, he was the best captain India has ever produced. It is not difficult to see the reason for such laments. Despite their differences in backgrounds, both had things in common. To begin, both came from the same state, Haryana. The state's past is the stuff of legend. The kings of Mahabharata had their capital here, and the mother of all wars, that of Kurukshetra, was fought here. Since then, however, Haryana has produced only 3 individuals of note: Tiger Patoudi, Kapil Dev, and most importantly, Mallika Sherawat. Patoudi and Kapil, both Haryanvis, in their own distinctive ways, concluded that even after 3,000 years, there were other Kurukshetras to be fought and won. Their illustrious predecessors had asked for just 5 villages. The stake this time was higher, a place in the Indian level. The Indian cricket team was Indian by name. It was actually the Dadar Union cricket team. Dadar is a suburb of Bombay, much like Dum Dum. Yet more than half the Indian side came from Dadar, sometimes more. The charisma and genius of Pataudi lent substance to that battle. The war was waged, and it was left to Kapil to bring off a sensational end when the Haryana cricket team, under his leadership, worsted Bombay in the Ranji Trophy finals in 1991. It was a victory more satisfying than the 1983 World Cup finals, and sweeter because the match was played in Bombay. India had won its independence from Bombay. cricket's tryst with destiny had begun. There were other reasons. Sportsworld, the magazine Tiger edited, and Kapil began their careers in the same year. We in the sports world have tried to play it fair and square, which is how Kapil Dev has played his cricket, observed Tiger in an editorial. Patoudi had cricketing reasons too, in wishing Kapil was in his team. As a captain, he never had a proper pace in his arsenal. He had to depend on spin perforce. He had always wondered why India could not produce fast bowlers. As an editor, he saw his chance to satisfy his curiosity. When interviewing Kapil for his magazine, he asked, "Why do you think we have not been able to produce fast bowlers?" In response, Kapil bowled to length. In India, Kapil said, the general attitude is to find an easy way out. So everyone is trying to be a batsman or an off-spinner. Nobody wants to go through the grind. Patoudi was too good an editor to allow a catch to slip through his fingers. With a naughty glint, he asked, "Okay, Kapil, but are we producing good enough spinners?" Kapil laughed. He knew when he was bitten, fair and square. "I think I should take the blame for that," he confessed gallantly. Such candor has often been the undoing of both. During a conversation with Kapil, Patoudi observed, apropos of nothing, "Kumble, I'll not call him a spinner." Momentarily taken back, Kapil chose to respond with a straight bat. I think he always has this one-day cricket in the back of his mind. But Kapil was not always this tactful. Writing for Pataudi's magazine Sports World, Kapil, reflecting on the World Cup victory, did not hesitate to throw a bouncer. He wrote, "But to look ahead, Sunil let us down badly. His problem is a matter of confidence." Gavaskar was a great batsman, but he was also a politician. Like all politicians, he could sometimes be petty. He saw his chance for revenge a year later, and like a politician, seized it. It was the 84-85 series against England. The crafty Maharashtrian, who led India in the 5-day test, dropped the World Cup winning captain on a charge of indiscipline. Kapil was the highest scorer in the Indian first innings, but got out to a poor shot in the second. Sunil claimed Kapil had thrown his wicket away. But you cannot put a good man down, not for long. Fortunately for cricket, the next test was being held in Calcutta. To a man, the city sided with Kapil. Overnight, the walls were plastered with slogan, "No Kapil, no test." In the event, the message did not register. We Calcuttans even pelted Gavaskar with oranges. Thus began a hate affair which continues till today. A heartbroken Kapil began to wonder whether he should quit cricket altogether. When he had almost made up his mind, a friend came to see him with a white envelope. Kapil opened the envelope to find a small cheat from Tiger Patoudi. The cheat had just 2 words written on it: "Don't quit." Ladies and gentlemen, Kapil has never learned to quit. Not then, not now, on or off the field. Captain, sir, may I now request you to come to the field and toss the coin?
Thank you very much. I have some height. Namaskar, good evening. I never seen so quiet crowd ever in my life. You're not, hello, friends, you're not watching cricket match. For God's sake, enjoy yourselves. We come here for evening, remember, our best man's. We have to talk about my hero, Tiger Patoudi, but not so many serious faces, please. Enjoy a little bit. I'll give you a few incidents. The best was not Tiger Patoudi when he wrote to me. He said, don't quit. Wait for a few days, then decide. So I said, okay. I waited for 15 years. Telegraph. I think, Avik, thank you very much inviting me, giving me this opportunity to talk to such a, I would say, very smart, intelligent people, cultured people. I'm from agriculture background, so I always wonder how to behave when I come to the culture side. Over the period of time, I learned that little bit. Still not I have a finish, a culture finish. I still come out with agriculture, shorts. And a second thing which I remember, I normally don't write points, but I thought today is a very important day for me. So I must write few points. I shouldn't miss out anything. And yes, Tiger Patoudi did ask me about the fast bowler, but somebody from Calcutta media asked my mom, why couldn't we produce another Kapil Dev? And my mom, 75 years old, then she said, Kapil's father died. And I'm too old. She said, I'm too old. Father died. I don't have any hanky-panky. So, if I known this, a cartoon-looking boy will become a cricketer, will fulfill the need, I would have produced 10 more. I was the 7th child in my family. So, mother could have been 17 kids. But talking about Tiger Patoudi, yes, I must be 4 years old when Tiger Patoudi started playing. But I remember about Tiger Patoudi, he fought an election from Chandigarh, first time. I was very young. I went miles to see him, to take a glimpse. Because one is royalty, second, the style. Nobody had better style than Tiger Patoudi. We all tried. Doesn't matter which cricketer. Heart in heart he tried. Bending the cap on side, looking, standing, all those things. But nothing achieved close to what he achieved. He had style, finish, everything. And top of that, he got a lovely wife too. Can you imagine? They had a great time. Cricket honestly gave me a life. I come from, after the partition, family come from other part of India. Now it's called Pakistan. Had a very tough life. Not me, my parents. I was barely good enough to handle myself, born in Chandigarh, enjoyed every minute. And what we enjoyed cricket in this country was unbelievable. I like Imran Khan said that. I was just thinking, he said, thank God he studied in Oxford. And he played for the country. Had I studied in Oxford, I wouldn't have played cricket. Definitely not. Because I wasn't good in studies. So my mom said, go, son, go and play. You can't study. It's not your cup of tea. So I picked the right thing. So it was great to know Tiger Patoudi because I think stories are more important. Today, if somebody asks me, Kapil, what do you miss in cricket? I said, the dressing room, not the ground. Honestly. The dressing room stories are so beautiful. Some of the story I can't even express. I can't even explain. I can't even share. Because those stories should stay with me and die with me. So I think that's the part they've given us. The previous cricketer had given us so much joy. Today is television. During those periods, it was stories. And storytellers are the best people. Sometimes you watch on television, you make your own mind. But somebody come and tell you the story, how good he played cover drive, and you start imagining, knowing about Tiger Patoudi, one of the best fielder then, we just wonder, what was the feeling then? And today, we can see the people working very hard to become the champion. But certain people have the talent, God-gifted talent, and I think Tiger Patoudi had everything. I was very, very unlucky, could not play with him or couldn't see him playing. Friend, philosopher, he was a man who didn't talk much. That was the best part. But he was waiting for the opportunity where he can put two and two. And people, he used to say one line and go. And first time when I saw and met him in Firozshah Kotla, I said, "Good evening, sir." He didn't look, he just looked through. And I said, what I have done wrong? He's Tiger Patoudi, I'm playing for country. He said, "You're on the wrong side of him, so be on the right side of him." So I understood little later. I said, "What?" He said, "He can't see from one side." I said, "How he played cricket?" He said, "Go and start reading about him." You can well imagine, if you have one eye and go to the toilet, you will bang your head 10 times. And this man was genius, no doubt about that. I wouldn't talk more than that because I'm very emotional towards him. Because I would say I used to love him. I used to feel jealous the way he used to get, respect and enjoyed himself. I was agriculture boy, couldn't do that. I think the most important is the captaincy. And captaincy, what I understand, it's very important how you think. Clarity is important. And Tiger must be very clear in his head what he wants to do. And the captain only succeeds what he's thinking and what he's saying is the same thing. A lot of captains over the period of time I've seen, they think something and they say something. And that's the dangerous part. But you start respecting a person who thinks and say it. This is what I think, this is what it is. And those are the people who make great captain. What does captain has? You can well imagine, leader. 100 years back, what does leader had? When there is no mic, nothing. Then the voice was very important. You have to be strong enough to say what you want to say that. I think all our leaders, or people during that era, must be a great speaker also. And your speech will only come out better and better if your thought is clear. And that's what I call captain and a leader. There's no difference in that. Yes, over the period of time, you start developing things. You develop few things. Something you carry from your family, the fighting spirit. Like my father would say, "What happened? Why are you crying?" I said, "Bahut mara." So don't cry here, go and beat him. So that's how it's come out, how you want to fight your own battle. And that's what we miss sometime. It's not the time of Mahatma Gandhi. That was a different era. When somebody slaps you, you give second cheek, slap me here. Today, no. You touch me, I'll hit you. That's the attitude required in sports. And sometime we do miss that. But again, you have to think positive to become like that. That's another part. Who is the good captain? To me, when I was young, growing up, on my first tour, They used to call me JB. JB is real sense Jad Buddhi. Bombay cricket dominated, and they used to think they are the smartest people around. No doubt they are. They can afford to say that. Out of 50 years or 45 years of Ranji Trophy, they won 35 times. So you can't blame them. The arrogance was there. And I come from a small town, start playing, and they said, thoda jaat buddhi hai, jaane do. So I used to enjoy. My friend said once, Kapil, keep your eyes and ears open while sleeping. You will be successful. And I start wonder, am I Jad Buddhi? What he's saying, keep your eyes and ears open while sleeping. He said, don't literally go what I said. The meaning is, keep your eyes and ears open all the time. You will be a successful man. And that day I learned from all my captain, what do I have to pick from where? Like Bishan Singh Bedi, my first captain, I enjoyed. He had a big heart. Very big heart. Typical Sardarji. Not bothered about what happened on the field sometime, but played with a passion. And I said, that's a good, he has a heart. And then, next captain come out, Sunil Gavaskar. He didn't have a big heart, but big thinking he had. He used to think a lot. And I said, I want to be like Bishan Singh Bedi off the field. On the field, I like to be like Sunil Gavaskar. And that word, I understood, keep your eyes and ears open. So start learning. You may be leader, you may be inborn thing you have, but you can pick up a few things from somewhere and add to your strength. So Sunil gave me, he started planning how to do that. And then it come to the agriculture stuff, which they didn't have, both of them. They only have culture. You require agriculture also sometimes, hitting below the belt. In sports, there's nothing wrong. But not like Virat Kohli, who bounced before even you say hello. Not like that also. That's the way I look at captaincy. So I start learning what good thing I can pick up. And when they made me captain, one of the selectors said, how can we make Kapil Dev captain? I come to know that. They said, why? He can't speak English. I said, कोई आदमी ऑक्सफोर्ड से ले आओ, वो इंग्लिश बोलेगा, मैं क्रिकेट खेलूंगा. It was funny thinking. We want to have a little bit fun, no? Some stories which we enjoyed the most. So I said, that's funny. Is that English that important? I realized it must be very important because English people used to play this game. It's fine. So I take it. Few things in my life I take it very hard, but not negative side, on positive side. I said, okay, I'll learn English. Maybe not the best English. नहीं बोली जाती तो नहीं बोली जाती, इसमें क्या है? कोई जरूरी, पर क्रिकेट तो खेली जाती है ना? That's very important. So I said a message to that guy. I said, okay, I will learn. And how can I learn English when I went to West Indies? First press conference, they asked me, Wapning man. Wapning man. I said, what is that? So my manager said, he's saying, what's happening, man? So I wondered, now what English I have to learn. But then I said on my first captaincy, I said, okay, I learn English, but I went to the press conference. I said, listen guys, if you want me to talk to you for next 3 months, can you speak little bit which I can understand? Otherwise, you can speak to manager all the time, day in, day out. I won't talk to you because You can't come to my level, I can't come to your level. I was very clear. But what happened over the period of time, I said, no. When you are captain, you have to learn few things. So I couldn't speak best, but I managed myself. And it was happened, the same coach asked me, he said, can you come and talk to my boys? The person who said to me, he can't speak in English. I said, okay. I said, that's funny. So I started that. I said, my senior cricketer think when he was picking me, I can't play for the country, or I can't be a captain of the country if I don't speak English. So don't learn cricket first, learn English. So that type of life I had, but it's a wonderful life. You know, it's beautiful because taking a challenge is the most important thing. I took a challenge throughout my life. A cricket board people said, you can't become a fast bowler. I said, I'll try. What's wrong? They said, we won't give you more than 2 chapatis. I said, my mom won't let me play. North में अगर रोटी नहीं खाने को मिलेगी तो तुम्हें कैसे खेलने देंगे? So those type of things I fought a lot. But in the end, what happened was a beautiful thing. I start eating less, I start talking more. I mean, 30 years back, I couldn't talk. If I have to come here, oh man, I would have sitting 5 times in my room and talking to myself, what should I do? Playing cricket is much easy. Today I say talking is much easier than playing cricket. That's what it happened. But I say thanks to Sunil Gavaskar. He asked me in New Zealand, he said, look, I have to talk. I have taken money and I am busy. I can't do, talking like that. He said, will you manage? I said, Sunny bhai, English nahi aati. Can't talk in English. He said, you will manage, don't worry. I said, are you sure? He said, yes, you will manage. He said, they will give you $10,000, which I never declared to income tax. Don't say no. So I got dollars and I start talking. And I start making money out of that. The best part about human being is how you can make money also. It doesn't hurt to anybody. So I given a lecture, and I don't know what I talk. But I said, I remember one thing. I said, sorry about my accent, you won't understand, I won't understand, because I have a vocabulary only for 3 minutes. So after 10 minutes, I finished the lecture. I said, that's enough. And that person come out, will you talk again? I said, my price is double. I come from a business family. I come from a business background, so I know how to make 2 and 2. Now, if we are talking about captaincy, the cricket have changed so much over the period of time. Last 15 years, things have changed. In cricket, one thing is good, everybody is expert. That's good part. And I feel that's why this game is so popular. Panwala also knows that. Usko kyun bheja, isko bhejna tha. So we say, subah morning mein, a waiter come to your room, knock the door, sir, galti kiya usko leke. Everybody is selected in our country. The captaincy is very interesting part. What I feel captaincy is, bore to nahi ho rahe na? हाँ, English सुन के. It's a serious work, man. I spent 6 hours doing this, and आपको मजा आ रहा है, मेरी जान निकल रही है. The captaincy is very important. Now the game have changed. A test match, one-day cricket, T20, then I don't know what. Next. We always, all the cricketer believes, who played a big cricket, meaning who played test cricket, everybody can't play test cricket, but everybody can play 2020 cricket. And that's the best part about this. So there is opportunity for everybody to represent their country. It's not the wrong thing. It's a good thing. I represent my country. Game become more popular. That's what a cricketer wants. What does cricketer want? Like Pankaj sitting here, my friend. He played billiards. How many people you know that? He achieved more than what we achieve in our lifetime. But you don't follow that. But he also liked to see that everybody follow billiards. So that's why I'm very proud. You know, the cricket is followed by everybody. Then it comes to the captaincy. It's not important now. A test captain can do the captaincy in T20. No, it's not like that. Is that my phone? No, I left it far away. I left it there. Sorry, wifey, I can't talk to you. Okay, doesn't matter. My wife was. She's like lightning. She's light also these days. It's a partnership. I'll tell you about wife also. You have to have a good partner. In a batting, you need a batsman. And getting 1-2, 1-2. In life also, you need a good partner. Otherwise, you will run out most of the time. I've seen many partnerships getting run out. But people who play well, smart, don't let everyone knows what's happening. They play a little longer innings. So the captaincy come back into that is every test player can't be a good captain at T20. And every T20 captain definitely not good enough to be captain the test cricket side. Very difficult. Because test cricket you need thinking. And one day, thinking ke bina bhi little bit you can carry away. And that's the difference between captaincy. But I think, I hope, my country, my senior cricketer who is looking after that, and the cricket board will have that sense of if we can have 2 or 3 different captains, it will help our game. Then these days, it comes to the captaincy and the managership and the coach. The Americans are very funny people. They don't understand, or either I don't understand English correctly. Mr. Kumar, you can tell me that. What is a captain or manager and coach? America, everybody is coach. How can anybody teach me fast bowling if my coach is the only one who can? But he can manage me. My manager can manage me. He can't be my coach. In cricket. But as the word is coach given by American and taken by every part of the world. They know how to package well. They have that art. To my mind, man management we require in our cricketing, not a coach. Coach can be your senior cricketers. I remember when I was playing cricket, I was bowling and Sunil Gavaskar come to me. He said, Kapil, whenever you bowl close to the wicket, I can't understand. I find difficulty. A caliber of that player. I think the best player ever we've seen. When somebody playing with you, you don't realize how good he is. But he was the best. And he's telling me, Kapil, come close to the wicket. I find difficult to pick your outswinger. So he can be my coach because he can understand relationship between two. When you become a coach, I think then coach will be where you learn your beginning of your cricket, and then your colleague can be your coach. That's the way I look at it. Other people is always manager who manage you well to get the best out of you. That's the way I look at the manager and coach and captain. I think the time will come when we will have non-playing captain. A time will come, very difficult, but I think technology is changing so fast, they will pick up something where they can spend another $1 million and get $20 million out of that. That's the business. And today, I can criticize a lot of technology, but I feel proud also. We can see the game from such a close corner. You can enjoy that, which we could never ever seen that. And that's why I always feel, technology is good, but more than that, you may have non-playing captain who can assess. Because today, sometime we can assess the game much better when we were playing, because we don't have that body, we have a brain. And once you reach certain age, your brain start working well and your body start going down. I often say that, God, give me 50 years of brain and 20 years of legs, I'll beat everybody. And God said, no, reach 50 and I'll give you 50 years of body. So I have both, 50 years of brain and 50 years of body. I won't take much of time, I promise, because from New Zealand to now, I graduated. And now I would say, I don't like to talk about our time. Everybody loves to talk about, I always used to feel, it's not too good talk about our time. Because it's very difficult to compare. But I can say, I feel very proud and happy. I was a part of 1983 team. I was a part. Forget about captain. I was a part. A part of something we started in this country. That's what we believe. That calls self-belief in sports, when not in cricket, in sports and sports girls, they all start believing they can achieve it. And that was the best part happened about 1983. My team, our team, your team. Now it's the last. I want to wish my team, this is young team, apart from the captain who left it halfway through the series, but he done a good thing, I tell you. A lot of people said he should have played 100 test matches, he could have played another. I think he given us a new thought. You don't have to play throughout your life. You should retire when you think the next generation is coming. And Greg Chappell said one thing which I admire. He said, a cricketer who play longer than his time, you kill the next 3 generations. It's just a thought which I admire. And that's why I said, Dhoni, well done, you're my man. You could have easily played 200 test matches. We couldn't do it what you done it. You said goodbye because I done my best, let the next generation come out. I hope in cricket the administration people will learn that. I'm on administration for last 30 years, I should go, not to stick to one chair throughout your life. And that's what Dhoni did. And Dhoni, I love you for that. You are a great guy. You serve the country so well. And I wish you another victory. I hope you play well. If you don't play well also, doesn't matter. But play the way your team knows, the way you know how to play the game. Only one team have to win. And let's hope my team win, our team win. But if don't let it go. It come after every 4 years. And waiting for 4 years is painful when you don't win. Once again, thank you very much inviting me. And Mrs. Patoudi, Rinku, I would say that. Thank you very much. You had a great partner of your life. You've got beautiful kids. We want to wish you and your family all the strength. But certain people don't go. Tiger never gone anywhere. He's with us. He's the best cricketer we had, and we are proud about him. He given us a new thought, thinking. You don't have to play the game, you can look good also. He was a smart cricketer. A lot of people follow, I follow. Thank you very much once again. You are inviting me. You know, when they called me to Oxford to speak, I remember all those days. Oxford University asked me to give a lecture. I didn't know. I cried in front of my daughter. I said, they must be idiot.
May I now request Sharmila Tagore? What do we want to say?
Do I need that? Yeah, well, I'm kind of short. Well, Abhijit is always doing this. I mean, I really don't know after that wonderful, entertaining talk, what am I going to say? But of course, thank you very much, ABP and the Oberois and Bengal Club for doing this. This is the 4th year, and every year I think, you know, every year we say this is the best lecture. And thank you, Kapil, for such an entertaining lecture. It was so wonderful, and you addressed so many serious issues also between all your humorous anecdotes and phrases. But you said a lot. So we learned a lot, and you entertained us, what better. And just to share that, as you said, that you've known Tiger and you've cared for Tiger, but he also cared so much for you. You know that. And throughout your, whatever you experienced, sometimes highs and sometimes low, he empathized and was always cared for you. And also after 11th of September, you were with us and you came, and it meant so much to us. You were there all the time. From the memorial, you came to Patoudi, and it gave us so much support, and I'd really, really appreciate that. And you're here today, and you've given this wonderful lecture, and I thank you very much. Thank you, Kapil. Thank you.
On this occasion, the Bengal Club has a very pleasant task to perform, to express and put on record our appreciation and our goodwill, and to thank the people who have come here to make the event possible. I'm sure the gallant Mr. Kapil Dev would not mind if I start by thanking Mrs. Sharmila Tagore, Sharmila Thakur, to all of us. Madam, your presence adds a personal dimension to this event. And we are so very happy that you've been able to make it at always short notice. We've never ever been able to give you sufficient notice, but in spite of your busy schedules, you've always been here. We are indeed grateful and look forward to many more of your presences over here. Every generation has their cricket fans, their following, and the greats of those particular times were the people who looked upon us. The generations of yesteryears spoke of Mustaq Ali, Naidu, Amarnath, Lala, of course. Then came the Vinu Mankats, Pankaj Roys. Then came the Umrigas, Bordes, Duranis, and then, of course, the Pataudi. and so it goes on. But there are some players who stride over generations, straddle over eras, and we have a nomenclature for them. We call them the greats of the game. Without an iota of doubt, without fear of any contradiction, Mr. Kapil Dev, sir, I can say you're not only one of the best all-rounders the game of cricket has seen, but you're certainly one of those all-time greats. It's a matter of privilege and pleasure both that you could come here. We all know the kind of busy schedule and calendar that you have, but that you could make it. It's your presence, we are really humbled. Thank you very much for being here. We have 3 associations with us, the Oberoi. We would particularly like to thank Mr. S.S. Mukherjee and Mr. George Korovila for making this happen. And we are tinged by the warmth of your hospitality. And amongst the many other things that you bring on the table, there's certainly one thing you bring, the best address in town, the ballroom, the Oberoi. I only hope my voice didn't catch to Alipur or to the bypass. We are very grateful to you for hosting this event. ABP Ananda has been a television partner, and we have to say thank you to them and express our gratitude. And FM, Friends FM, the radio partner. But I have left Mr. Avik Sarkar for the last. That from the little that I know of him, there's something in which he believes and he lives by. Anything worth doing is worth doing well. And it is our good fortune that he brings his enthusiasm and zeal into this event, and he remains the cornerstone of this event. Thank you, sir. And lastly, you. It's your presence which fulfills the event, which completes the event. And I can assure you, the joy and happiness that we get out of your presence makes us go forward. And even when the curtain drops on a Patoudi lecture, it's never that we bid adieu. It's always au revoir. As a token of appreciation, we would just like to hand over. Now, it's been a pleasure that we have one of the greatest sportsmen of our country, Mr. Pankaj Advani, present over here. May I request Mr. Kapil Dev to hand over a token of appreciation for him being present. Now may I request Mr. Avik Sarkar to come on stage to present 2 sketches which will be shown on screen. The sketch being presented is being shown on screen. Thank you once again. Thank you, everyone.